All right, welcome to it. It is the Mike Herrera podcast. What is up with you guys? June just flew by. I don't know about you, but it flew by. Can't believe it. Warped Tour, it was in the distant future. Then we were at Warped Tour DC and we played it. So thank you everybody that came out, rocked the set with us. It was so much fun. It was so hot. I didn't say anything, but it was, it was tough. We were right there in the middle of the day. It was great. Middle of the day meaning like it was like, I don't know, 3 o'clock. So anyway, thank you. I want to thank downtown Bremerton, the city of Bremerton, the mayor of Bremerton, everybody that had me out on Friday, June, 12. Amazing setup. They got this fan zone down there in Quincy Square, and it's a street that's all blocked off. There's businesses all along the way. The Roxy Theater is right across from a public stage. They have an outdoor stage right there. That's where I played. Behind the stage, they recently installed this giant screen, so people are all watching. Every single game is broadcast on that screen for the World Cup. So it's just been so much fun downtown. I went down there on Juneteenth. That was over a week ago now, but and just the kids down there, Holly and I met each other down there. I was at the studio and she brought the kids down, and then I got to hang out with everybody for a little bit. It was so much fun, and just being part of the community, and it's not what I normally do, It's like, where's the backstage, right? No, I mean, I love getting out there and meeting people and just checking it out. I saw Tom Wisniewski out there, our beloved Tom. He was watching the game. It was just chilling, just having a good time. It was so much fun. So shout out to downtown Bremerton. Much love to you. Love this town. I was born and raised here, so it is kind of different to actually still be in the town you were from, especially as an entertainer. Most people like me move to LA, straight up. New York, LA, depending on where you are. For me, it would have been LA. We spent so much time down in LA. I felt like, okay, it's like a second home in a lot of ways, just like Texas is. But Bremerton is it's where I feel at peace. I feel like this is just home. It's not like I'll never leave again, but I like having a home base that's outside all of the craziness. And Bremerton has its own craziness. I'll give you that. But I know a lot of people are waiting for an announcement for an outdoor show, something happening this summer, and I am not ready to announce anything, but I will tell you there's going to be something end of summer. Think the last Saturday of August, something like that. Mark your calendars. Don't have any major plans that day. Yeah, if you want to fly up, I'd even say that's not a bad move, but I can't say anything yet. It's just going to be if you're an MxPx fan, you don't want to miss what we're going to do. So that being said, we still got these stickers in the store. We were giving these away at the Fan Zone show when I played acoustic. It's cool. I feel like, I don't know, stickers are stickers. You can just make them yourselves, as evidenced by Bob. So shout out to Bob McKnight. He actually made his own My Career Podcast stickers and sent them out to you guys. I've been seeing some posts, so thank you for posting about that and thanking Bob for that. Appreciate that. All right, you guys, we got a great episode for you. Some voicemails. It's been a minute, so if you want to call in, leave a voicemail. The number is 360-830-6660. I'd appreciate a couple more. I'm running low. I had to erase a bunch of just basically, I don't know if they're really even prank voicemails, but it was bound to happen eventually. Somebody that is a little out there, not all together, has been not lately, but a couple months ago was us calling literally every week, constantly. And so I have like all these calls and I'm just like, okay, block. So that being said, be entertaining, but I appreciate your calls. I appreciate honest questions. I appreciate real questions. So if you want to leave a message, ask me a question, I'll talk all about it. The number 360-830-6660. If you're international, it's a Google number, so you can just put a +1 before that and get in. All right, you guys. Before we get to these voicemails, MxPx.com, we got tons of merch, you know that. But other bands have merch too, and I got a package in the mail after I got back from my last trip. I'm gonna read it for you. It's nice, very nice. Hey Mike, appreciate all the kindness on the road and on the podcast. Thanks for always being super rad. Amanda and Chris. Very cool. Thanks, Chris. Thanks, Amanda. East Coasters, and Chris plays in a band called American Television, and we've played their band a couple times on the podcast for Music Mondays. If you want to submit to a Music Monday, go to the Mike Herrera Facebook group, and it's free to join, but you have to actually join it. And there's a pinned comment up there that says Music Monday, and give us a YouTube. I don't know. I don't want to get too complicated. That's the best way to do it. There are other ways, but that's the best way. So American Television's done it, and I played them on the podcast, and they got some great songs. So what do we got here? We got a lady's shirt. Thank you, Amanda. I'm sure you chose that color. Maybe not, actually. You're here we go. American Television. Wow, that is a really cool shirt. I see how you use the pink as the background for some of it. That's cool. Well done, well done. I like the logo, very nice and bold. And then another t-shirt. That one was a large. This is also a large. You know what? I can fit a large. In fact, the shirt I'm wearing might even be a large. American Television. Oh, cool. I like the roses on the front. Very, very understated. You could almost wear this at an office job. Almost. Okay. Thank you so much. That's American Television. They got merch. And I love it when bands take the leap and get out there, play shows, put out music, make merchandise. It's very cool. Oh, I forgot. They also sent, what could this be? Records inside. You love Mike. You love these things. Okay. What do we got? What do we got? What do we got? What do we got? It is, it's almost my birthday, really, but it's not. It's almost my son's birthday. So, American Television, You Are Not Alone. And American Television, Scars. On Smart Punk Records. Right on. Both on Smart Punk Records. Looking good, guys. Looking good. I like the artwork. I like the fact that you guys have vinyl. It's pretty awesome. Very cool. Very cool. All right, let's check it out. Ooh, blue vinyl? Blue with color. Very, very cool. Wow. Wow. Okay. I like it. This is good. Good job, you guys. Good work. All right, there he is. There's Chris. All the way to your left. All right. Let's get to the podcast, you guys. I mean, this is the podcast. I hope you're watching on YouTube because you can see a lot more. And I hope you're subscribing to my YouTube. It's Mike Herrera Video. Get to it. I have gained a few subscribers, so thank you. And MxPx as well. Please, we're doing live streams here and there. And the last live stream we did, there were some audio issues, and we're in the middle of fixing those. We understood. We didn't stop the live stream because we didn't know about it at the time. I mean, we saw some comments or whatever, but you know, our people will tell us if there's really a problem and we need to stop. That didn't happen, so we just kept going. But there was an issue with the audio, but it was this like, I don't know, it was like this buzz happening, and then the compressor was making it louder. And I think there was two problems happening at the same time. Our reverb was breaking, and so we have an outboard reverb, a PCM 91, that we've had literally since the clubhouse back in the Chico days of the studio. And I think it might be breaking. I don't know. I got to do more tests. But long story short, everything's fine. Everything's gonna be fine. We just got to fix it. And when we were playing full band, of course, all of that signal drowned out that buzz, and always does, but it was just getting worse this time. So we'll fix that. We'll try to fix that. I mean, there's always going to be a ground buzz unless we get like a brand new studio console and a whole new, all new wires. Everything kind of has to be redone for that. But there are reasons why there is a ground buzz, and it's just because we have old equipment, and we have some new equipment mixed with old equipment, and sometimes those unbalanced to balanced don't match very well. There's nowhere for the buzz to go, so it just comes out. But it hasn't been an issue really until the last one. So we're gonna fix it. Yeah, I just kind of threw my pen. All right, you guys, what a crazy, wacky day. It's the end of June, beginning of July. We got 4th of July coming up. We have MxPx's birthday coming up. No plans right now. The new album, MxPx, Living in the Chaos. We finally announced it at the last Warped Tour, and we don't have a date yet. We haven't announced the release date. We haven't released any artwork, but we have kind of released the theme. We've released the name, Living in the Chaos, and it really does go well with the times we're living in. I think it's going to go well with no matter when we're living. I mean, if we put Living in the Chaos as, if we released this in the 90s, it would have been like, yep, perfect. It's funny how that works, huh? All right, you guys, let's get to it. Here we go.
Mike, what's up, dude? I grew up in Bremerton. Somehow I got a hold of a Punkadeka tape when I was in elementary school, and I was listening to that and fast punk beats on ski movies and shit. And yeah, dude, you guys started me down the road for a lifetime of fast music. I couldn't get enough. And thank you so much for that. It's progressed. I was in hardcore bands, growing up in Bremerton, that beautiful, beautiful music scene with Josh Kennedy and those guys, and then got really into metal. It's been a journey, dude. I don't really have a question other than I don't know. Hope you're well, fellow Bremertonian, and shit's crazy right now. I'm trans, so I live in Canada, in Vancouver, which makes me feel nostalgic and everything for home. So just glad that you have this podcast. I always love Bremerton, and thank you so much for the music, dude. Just seriously, it really changed my life. I don't know if you hear that much, but that happened for me. Anyway, you guys fucking rule. Nice Stingray, and yeah, hope to get you at a show, man. See ya.
Dude, thanks for the call. And did you say nice Stingray? I appreciate that. That just reminds me, some people, there's been just a few people. Most people are getting their custom Mike Herrera Stingrays, the orange creamsicle ones. Those are the first ones we've ever done outside just having it available on the Ernie Ball website. Now you can get it at Guitar Center, at Sweetwater, at whatever, any kind of retail that sells Ernie Ball, you can get it. And some of these places are doing great, and some of these retail places are not doing great. So there's been a few people that are still waiting for their order. I would definitely be proactive in that. I don't know what else to tell you other than you got to be proactive and go straight to them. If it is a problem, get your money back. Don't be afraid to do that. Go to a different place that has it in stock, because it's just you're waiting for one and somebody else just buys it and gets it right away, and you're like, what? How is this happening? It's all retail. Just understand that. So anyway, my friend from Bremerton, Washington, now living in BC, got into fast music because of MxPx, because of Punkadeka. That was our first album, and I gotta say, hearing you say that we changed your life and the music changed your life, that means a lot, and I want to think about what music changed my life in a similar way. What got me into fast music, and do I still listen to those bands today? And I think it's a mixed bag, but early on, I I heard Suicidal Tendencies, Suicidal Army, Lights, Camera, Revolution, of course, Pepsi, you know that song, Institutionalized is the name. I loved all those songs. It was the attitude, the punkness of it, the hardness of it, the man, it was just so fun. And that to me was skate music, and I was getting into skateboarding. But I would say the first couple bands I really heard that, I'm trying to think back before MxPx was actually a band. What was I listening to? It was like, you know, the Violent Femmes for bass. It was Red Hot Chili Peppers for bass. It was Green Day, of course, you know, Green Day, not of course, Bad Religion. It was The Descendants, All. Those were like right at the cusp. The Ramones, Social Distortion. Those are the early bands. The Clash. But what are the bands that really like got in my head? Bands like Social Distortion, the Ramones, The Descendants. The Descendants were big, you know, because I felt like they were such a big band listening to them on cassette tape. And then I went and saw them play at the OK Hotel, and it's like tiny, you know, great crowd, nothing wrong with the show. I didn't think anything less of them for playing there. I just realized, oh, we can do this. I can do this, you know. And I got to say, shout out to Bad Juju, a Bremerton band that was doing the Bad Religion style punk. I would say Bad Religion, Minutemen, more Bad Religion than Minutemen, much more Bad Religion. Why I say that is just because it's the fast punk beat with melodic lyrics, fast lyrics, singing, and melodic choruses. And I feel like in my own way, I was doing that too. You know, I was taking a lot of the melodic stuff I heard from like REM and like the Ramones and stuff like that. So like I got into the Queers pretty early on, but again, it's hard. It's all like sort of like fragmented in my memory of what was first and what was something I discovered after MxPx was already technically a band. You know, I know after, well, MxPx, we had our first promo shoot, and I was wearing a Ranted shirt, and I think Tom and I had just seen them. It's so interesting. Tom wasn't in the band yet. So maybe this was pre that. Maybe this was Rancid at the King Cat Theater, not Rancid at the Olympic. No, it had to be Olympia backstage. Sorry, backstage theater where they actually are facing backstage, and that's where everybody is. Everybody's in the backstage watching the show, and then the backstage of the show is all the seats of the front theater. It's so weird. But anyway, that was Vancouver. I think that's the first time, and that's the Flywheel story, Thomas Nesky and I. But the reason why I'm confused is because this is for our first album, Pokin' At Ya, and Andy Husted, our first guitar player, was wearing my No Effects shirt. I was like, hey, wear this because these are cool bands, you know what I mean? But Andy and I loved Lagwagon, and so did Yuri. We loved Lagwagon pretty early on, No Use for a Name, Pennywise. These are all bands I kind of heard in high school when I was washing dishes at Spiros. So I discovered Pennywise at Spiros, and I knew the Descendants and the Ramones and Social D before the pizza joint, but all the kind of like the more and more of the genre of punk was revealed to me washing dishes at Spiros in Silverdale, Washington. A lot of cool people out there. Grog was one of the cooks, and he skateboarded and he was into punk, and I think he was one of the guys that was into Pennywise. But we called him Grog. His name was Greg. We called him Grog because he reminded us of a caveman in some ways. Love all y'all though. It was so many good times. But shout out to John Reed. He was my manager at Spiros, and he was the coolest guy. Like I really like paid attention to what he said because he was always fun, but he always was just like would tell me the skinny, like this is how you make sure you do this, and he would always have my back in a way so that I didn't get in trouble with the boss, and he would give me the heads up, hey, somebody somebody stole the night drop when you were working, and they're kind of looking into you right now. Like, I'm like, dude, I didn't do it, I swear. And he's like, I know, man, you're good, but you know, just so you're aware, you know, like things like that. Like, whoa, like people are out for me and I didn't even know it. So shout out to John Reed. He is still a good friend of ours, good friend of mine. He did the artwork for the Renaissance EP. He was a graphic designer for a little while in San Francisco, you know, born and raised up here in Washington, and then ended up in San Francisco. Became a advertising ad agency guy, marketing guy, of the commercial ilk. Like, he'll actually like make up commercials and actually make the commercial. I don't know how it all works, but he does really well at what he does. He's a good dude. So I love seeing people that like, oh wow, well, we knew each other when I was at my first tax paying job, you know, not under the table kind of job, and we're still friends. So definitely a good guy. Anyway, sorry about the tangent, but the Spiros and all of that is part of my punk story. It's part of how I learned about punk bands and how I got into this and how it changed my life, you know, because Bad Juju, when they were not only a band that played shows locally and were the top dog, they were the headliner around, but I would go and see them practice because I provided them with their star drummer. So their drummer that they had originally was moving away, and I had shown up with my buddy Jeremy, who he was from Sebeck. I was starting a band with him, and we were doing music together, and we got our first job landscaping up the road from my house in Chico. And it was after a long day of landscaping. I was like, man, this band, and I'm friends with this guy, Ben. He's the guitar player. Let's go see them, you know, practice. I've gone a couple times. And I brought him in, and they're like, yeah, we need a drummer. I'm like, well, Jeremy's a drummer. And so he gets on the drums right away and like just jams and like became their star drummer. And I remember I saw them at a local show, and Jeremy was like hanging out and had all these girls around him, and he was like one girl on each arm, and just walking, and he walked by me and he was like smiling. I'm like, hey, I'm just thinking to myself, like, something didn't work out well for me in this situation. But Bad Juju was a huge catalyst for me to realize, hey, if they can do it, I can do it. And Lumpy, the bass player, Jason, he's a great guy. I'm still friends with him, and he taught me a very good lesson at the time. I mean, I don't still use this for songwriting, but it really helped at the time. I was just starting songwriting, and he played a bass line. He's like, do 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 do, and he's like, there's one part, right? Now reverse it. Do 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 do. Now there's two parts, and I was like, what? Wow. Okay. All right. I'm learning. So a lot of the epiphanies in my life were just music related things. You know, how to write a song in an easier way, in a different way, how to put things together. It's wild. So shout out to Bad Juju, shout out to the local scene, because eventually MxPx became that band that was headlining those local shows, that was filling up those local spots, and I have so many great memories from it. And it wasn't always easy, and it wasn't always like, oh, you guys are the best. It was like, you guys suck. Why do these people like you? You know, so you got to go through it all. You got to have tough skin, and I think that's why I can do what I do, is because going through all that, I don't know, almost high grade humiliation in some ways, but I just didn't internalize it, and I didn't probably even know a lot of the time. You know, you don't believe the hype. You know, it's a few people that are loud, and everybody else isn't even paying attention. They're just like, that's cool. I like this band. They're decent, you know, and they're doing stuff unlike other bands that aren't doing stuff. So a lot of it is that, you know, there's a YouTube video out there, and it's like, why the Seattle punk scene hated Tooth and Nail, you know, or whatever. And it was like, that's made up. I mean, I think it was a few people that didn't like it, and then everybody else was like, what? Yeah, okay. So it's funny how, you know, the loudest person, the loudest voice, or the one with the most money to reach the most people is going to be what that narrative is. And history is written like that, and same goes for music history. So don't let your history be written by hateful people. That's what I say. So we're out there still writing our own history, and we didn't always have it easy in the Bremerton scene, but I'm very grateful that we went through it, because it made us stronger as a band. It made us a better band. Honestly, there was a lot of great talent out there that we had to play with and play next to, and so it made us better. I'm convinced of that. So what a great call, and I appreciate you so much, man. I don't think I caught your name. I don't think you said it, and that's all right. So Bremerton to Vancouver, BC. All right, appreciate it. Let's get to a couple more.
Hey, Mike. This is JJ. I'm up in Alaska, and I pre-ordered your bass from Guitar Center back in November, and I never got it. They kept having back order. So I'm calling to say, if anyone's ordered it from Guitar Center, switch over to Sweetwater, because I canceled with Guitar Center, switched over to Sweetwater, got it within 2 days, and the customer service at Sweetwater is amazing. Another thing is, I'm wondering when you're going to get more Life in General CDs on the site, because I don't have that album, and I want that on CD, but it's not on there. And then third thing is, when are you guys going to come to Alaska? Because I'm in Anchorage, and no one ever really comes through here that often, but it'd be cool if you guys came through here. I know you guys did play in a parking lot up here, because my dad said that he saw you guys back in, I don't know, somewhere 2010 to 13, somewhere around there. Anyways, that's it. Just calling to say those three things.
Oh man, thank you so much. So Anchorage, Alaska, man, that has been on our list for a while. We loved our experience in Alaska when we were there, and I think it was right before 2010. It was probably 2009, 2008, somewhere in there, if I had to guess. But it was with Tommy Rat, and Tommy Rat at some point, he was our tour manager slash sound guy, and sometimes monitor guy. I mean, he would kind of do it all in some ways. He got in an accident where he died for a few minutes and then was resuscitated and brought back to life. But needless to say, it was a couple days before his birthday and a couple days before we left for an Australian tour, and he never made that tour. He never made his flight. Of course, we didn't know what happened to him for months, because he was in a coma for months. And I'm sure he'd be okay with this story. I think we even told this story. He's been on the podcast since then, and I think we talked about it. So I think it was before that, which would have been 2009, 2008, somewhere in there. Anyway, that isn't even important. What that means is it was a long time ago, and we've tried to go since then. It fell through, didn't work out, but if we can work with the right people, maybe there's a decent venue out there. I know it's not quite the same as it is here on the mainland. You call it the mainland? What do you call it? Anyway, we love Alaska, and it's on the list. Let's just put it that way. Life in General CD, though, I think that's just a straight up thing where I don't think they make them anymore, and we would have to license that particular album at the moment. Check back in a year, we might have it. All right. All right. I'm blown away, and this is the last topic on your call, the first topic, but first and last. I'm blown away that you brought up the bass thing and the fact that you ordered from Guitar Center, couldn't get it, it was back ordered, and then you got it from Sweetwater right away. And that's exactly what I'm talking about. Maybe I read a comment from somebody else that had a similar situation. I don't know, but we are one with the universe, JJ. We are one. And I'm so glad you called in and mentioned that. So everybody, Sweetwater is a good company. I actually do order things from them quite often, and I have a rep. I actually have a couple reps, but I have one main rep, and they'll just get you the best price. It ain't like it's not like it used to be with artist discounts back in the day with Guitar Center, where you get half off. It's not happening, but you can get a little bit off with the right people. All right. Anyway, that's usually if you're an artist. So band people out there, just know that. But at the same time, don't expect too much. All right. Love the call. Love that you bought a bass. I appreciate you so much, and I love that you got it. One thing I didn't hear is, how do you like the bass? Please call back. Anybody that's bought a bass and is happy with it, I want to hear. Or if you're not happy with it, I mean, I guess we should hear both sides. And the number is 360-830-6660. Let me know what you think about the bass. If you've played it live, what you've been doing with it. I'd love to hear about it. All right. What is it like compared to your other basses? All right. Let go. Here we go.
All right, I'm calling back. I don't know why the hell I tried to read off of what I'd written down to remind myself of what I was going to say. I live in North Carolina. I caught your show in March with one of my best friends. I'm originally from Indiana. Now, Southern Indiana specifically. There was a rumor years ago that, I mean, we're talking 30 years ago, that you guys had played at a place called the Coffee House, which is in the basement of a church, a few blocks from the University of Evansville, Indiana. That was also...
Okay, let me stop you there. I think I remember this. We did play Evansville, Indiana. Let me talk about it more in a minute. What else you got to say?
There was a rumor that White Zombie had played there roughly around the Los Exorcisto album tour. But...
Okay, White Zombie.
I was just wanting to know if you could lay it to rest or not, if you actually had, and if you forgot about it. Trust me, it's completely acceptable because Evansville is very forgettable. But we've always wondered, by the way, like I said, I caught your show. It took me 30 years because you guys had never come around there, did you? But your show here in Charlotte was absolutely fantastic. And I can say, like, I'm 42 years old now. I'm the cusp of 43. And I've seen some shows. You guys are top 10. Incredible. But I say that to say this. I was wondering, once again, like, you guys were on a tour. I heard about it. And there was another band called Noggin Toboggan. They were on Betty Rocket Records. And it was roughly about the same time. It's like in 98, 99. I don't know if you ever heard of them. Really, I thought they were fantastic. It was one of the first bands from California that ever came to Indiana. And I know you're from, y'all from Washington, but I'm trying to gather my thoughts here. I would like it to be true, and I'd also like it to not be true. But
why?
Fantastic show. Next time you guys come by, throw in a little "Do Your Feet Hurt?" It's the only complaint I have from the show. It's fantastic. Thank you very, very much.
Fair enough complaint, my friend. Fair enough complaint. All right. You're from Indiana. We've played Indiana quite a few times. Indianapolis, so many times. It's been a little while since we've been back, but we have played Indianapolis quite a few times. Evansville, Indiana, like I just said. Yes, we've played there. Was it at the Coffee House? I'm going to say yes. I'm going to say yes. And I wonder why you're like, I want it to be true, and I also don't want it to be true. Why? Why not? Yes, you missed us. You were probably too young then. Maybe not. I don't know. We were pretty young, though. That was our first couple tours. We probably played there at least once, if not twice, but probably just once. Blaster the Rocket Boy, I think, was there, and they were an Indiana band. And they probably were the reason why we were playing Evansville, I think. But we played a few other shows with them along those first couple tours. Noggin Toboggan, I think you were just kind of mentioning you liked them and you saw them in Indiana, but they didn't. I don't think we've ever played with them, but I've heard of them, of course, from California. We probably were with Blenderhead at the time. Blenderhead, don't know. Blaster the Rocket Boy, Evansville, Indiana, the Coffee House. Does anybody remember that? Anybody see us on our first or second? I want to know. I want somebody to call in if you've seen us on our first tour, which is 1995. We played with Blenderhead. We went all over from California all the way east, Florida, New York. We went everywhere. So chances are you might have seen that. And then, of course, if you saw anything in the last couple of years, always love to hear the comparison. Like, people are usually pretty surprised, like, wow, it's like a whole, of course it's a different thing, because when we were starting out, we literally had like little combo amps and we had a van, and it's just, times have changed, but times are good. Times are good and hard and bad and all of the above, right? We're living in the chaos, but we progress and we don't give up and we keep going. Let's do one more. All right, you guys, thanks for the call. And I'm glad to have finally laid that rumor to rest. It is that conspiracy theory is true. MxPx did play at the Coffee House in Evansville, Indiana, early on, probably 1995, 96, somewhere in there. Probably 95, to be honest. All right. Last voicemail, and then we'll get out of here. Here we go.
Hey, this is Rich over here in Washington State. Wow, what a weekend you guys have had. I just wanted to say I got to watch all of it online, basically, and what a cool experience it's been watching you play the acoustic show, the acoustic set there in Quincy Square in Bremerton, and then the build-up to Warped Tour on Saturday, and then Sunday, everything just exploding with all of the news of the new album. And how absolutely chaotic today was. Anyways, it's just really cool. Really proud of you guys. I think you're amazing and you're number one. That's it. All right. Okay. Keep going. Bye.
Thanks for the call, Rich. I appreciate it, man. Yeah. So to give a little context, he's just calling after the weekend we had in DC. We played Warped Tour. We announced the new album, Living in the Chaos. We had a QR code. Livinginthechaos.net takes you to a page. It's going to have more and more as it gets closer to the album being out. But you can sign up there. You can go there, check it out. Livinginthechaos.net. Of course, MxPx.com. That's the, never going to not be the place. Check that out. We got merch. We got hoodies. We got hats. We have vinyl. We have CDs. Apparently not Life in General, though, but we have other CDs, and we have T-shirts and summer stuff. We got the Hawaiian shirt. If you haven't already checked that out, it is so good. It's such a great piece of clothing, to be honest. We got swim trunks for the ladies and the guys, and we got ladies swim suits, two-piece swimsuit. We got all that stuff for summer. But of course, we are very focused on this new album and getting it done. And we're going to start posting a little bit more about it soon. And like I said, stay tuned for the end of summer. Of course, we're cryptic, but we're going to do something right at the end of summer here in the Pacific Northwest. All right. Much love to you. Shout out to our producers, Bob McKnight and Christine Hall. That's all I can say. Thanks for everything you guys do. And thanks for listening. Thanks for subscribing to the podcast. If you haven't checked out last week's episode, we had Ryan Holiday on. He's a friend of mine. Him and his family were in town, and they came by, and we had a couple days of just family time and hangout time, and just enough time to do a podcast as well. So it was cool. It was really cool to get a little more just chill time with some very great people. So, all right. The podcast is just like a little sliver of it. Just thinking about things to talk about and talking about it. It was so much fun. All right, you guys. Until next time, peace. Happy 4th of July.